Hello, welcome to River Talk, a civics discussion group here on the campus of Clinton Community College, Clinton, Iowa, a member of the Eastern Iowa Community College Districts. My name is Emily Legel, and these are my co-hosts, Ryan Costello and Justin Kelch. Today, our two topics will be voter apathy and voter ID laws, but first, let me just introduce a quick disclaimer. Any and all views expressed in this podcast are those of the students speaking them, and may not necessarily be those of the Clinton Community College or Eastern Iowa Community Colleges or the faculty and staff at any of these places. Thank you for listening. Let's get started.
Okay, well then, obviously last night was an interesting election night. Our first topic is going to be voter apathy and what role that may have played in the outcome last night.
Okay, voter apathy. Today in creative writing class, which my two co-hosts are in, we were talking about those who did and didn't vote. We were complaining about the election results, some of us were, while the others simply said they don't vote, they're all idiots.
And yeah, I tended to stay out of that conversation because you know, I could have said some strong things, but it was you know, it's a dedicated class period, so now here I am to talk about it where I have the forum to do so. You know, I think that the problem is, and I think that we're going to start touching on this more, is you know, early education system. I know for a fact that, you know, really our system of voting and our representatives and everybody who has anything to do, even especially on a local level, is not being taught in schools as far as I know, because I have children. I know a lot of my friends have children. I'm getting pretty old, and you know, they don't know what a county supervisor is. Nobody does. Even in high school, they don't know. They don't care anymore. It seems like somebody else is going to vote the right way, and we'll all be taken care of. So does anybody else see a problem here? I mean, this is what voter apathy is to me.
Can I ask you a question? Do you see voter apathy being worse than at the local level, which is where really the rubber meets the road in terms of local politics, right, and how that affects your life? And people know even less about the local politics than they know about national politics.
Yes, because national politics are completely just mobbed by the media. I mean, they are blown way out of proportion. It's almost like a Jerry Springer show for a presidential election. Yeah, you know, that's really the way that it is. Local politics, though, we get these smear campaigns and little cards and stuff like that, but right over the shoulder. Nobody even reads it, you know. I mean, and that's the way that it's going. But the way to control anything, the way to have what you want in this country is to vote at a local level. And last night's turnout sucked.
In Clinton County, which is the county we're in, Clinton County has more than 50,000 residents, I'm guessing. Do you know the exact, you know a better estimate?
Just the ballpark that I heard was 14,000?
Yeah, out of 14,000 out of 60,000 residents here in Clinton County voted. In some of our more urban areas, Scott and Rock Island counties to the south, they had about a 45% turnout, but yeah.
And you know what they are? I had a politician call me personally to ask me what it's like in a small town, and I know the voting block. They're all 60 plus. That's the voting block. The younger crowd, they probably couldn't get out of, you know, whatever glass company they work for or whatever.
Grand Theft Auto?
Well, no, Minecraft is really, I don't know, that would hit a lot younger than I'm talking about. But my age, the mid-30s, I don't think they're even voting anymore, honestly. I mean, because it was just eerily quiet last night in the voting booths.
You want to jump in?
I was going to say I went to one of the debates for the local and one of the 4 candidates, and there was a very small turnout rate, and there was like no questions. There was next to no interest in it whatsoever. And some of the candidates who were there were actually pretty, like afterwards they were like, who are you? Why do you support so-and-so? And it just seems like there's no one really cares about discussing the issues anymore.
This was last night, you say? Or
No.
was this prior to the vote?
This was
prior to the
Okay,
debates.
so it was in debates?
Yeah, it was in the town hall.
okay.
Okay. All right.
My name is Emily. I am a millennial. I turned 18 exactly a month before the election, and I took pride in voting my first election. I will say that. However, it seems that a lot of my peers, like Ryan said, they don't give a darn about voting. The general theme I heard from them was they're all idiots, so why would I want to vote for them anyway? My belief is very strongly, if you think you're idiots and you're not going to vote, you don't have a right to complain. Because I did my job, and yes, most of my candidates, except for one, lost. I only had one candidate I supported win, and that was because that was our local House representative, Sherry Bustos.
But this could all boil down to
I
a
think so.
particular thing. Now, look, when I was in high school and graduating and becoming 18, there was no such thing as well, the internet was barely born.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was no such thing as smartphones and all these distractions and all that kind of stuff. Everyone was excited to vote, no matter what.
Yeah.
Even unless they were like really the guys from the wrong side of the tracks and they'd rather work on their cars, but they were very few. Now, the people who don't give a good gosh darn are just outweighing them, and them old guys that, that are working on the cars, they're excited to vote now all of a sudden. But it's because of distraction.
I agree. I mean, I have a friend who plays Minecraft and Minecraft and Minecraft.
And who knows what else.
Well, that's her primary interest from what it seems like. And she has the access to social media. She has an iPod. She has a laptop.
1 minute.
So I just think that, like Ryan said, there are too many distractions, and I think it's up to the politically aware millennials, yes, there are some of us, to get the voters to vote the way we want, so our country does not go in favor of the older, more motivated groups, so we can actually address the problems facing us.
You want to get one last word in on this topic?
I was going to say I take offenses with saying the candidates are idiots. I mean, they have managed to gain a significant amount of support, organize an entire campaign, and find as many backers and get as much publicity as they did. So, I mean, obviously they're not that, I mean, they're better than most of the voters, they're more educated. So I just think when people say the candidates are idiots, they're generally just saying they're ignorant themselves.
That's my view, exactly.
In the interest of time constraints, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is voter ID laws, which are increasingly becoming a hot topic across the country, right? You guys want to address that growing issue?
Okay,
So-
Emily, please inform me of what
So
you
across the
know
country,
about-
various state legislators from North Carolina to Texas, I don't know if Iowa has done it or Wisconsin has done it, they've been passing measures that make it a requirement that anyone who wants to vote in an election must show a photo ID. Many of these statutes have also been challenged in court, some losing simply because it's unconstitutional, it's stopping people from voting, or they are instituted too close to an election. And while Illinois yesterday actually had a ballot measure prohibiting discrimination in voting based off race, sex, gender, poverty, etc. That measure did pass with a margin of 70-something percent. I did notice this morning. So, thoughts on voter ID laws? Justin, do you want to start?
Photo ID laws, I mean, the obvious 2 points, the balance you're trying to find between is we've had a lot of voter fraud, and being from Illinois, corruption and seems to go hand in hand. So you see a lot on photo IDs are important, could help cut down on that. On the flip side, in government, that's saying, well, you have to have that support in government, you have to get that documentation beforehand. But if the government can make you buy health care, buy car insurance, and all this other stuff, shouldn't it be okay for them to require a photo ID?
Ryan, what do you think?
I don't see what the problem is. I don't see why someone would challenge that. I'm with you, okay?
Yeah, so I don't see
because, you know, unless we're in a complete libertarian, you know,
Okay.
kind of nirvana or something, where then they can just, you know, don't tread on me, you don't need to know who the
Okay.
heck I am. Well, but you have to, like you said, voter fraud. We want to avoid that.
You have
It's,
some dead people voting.
everybody has to have an ID anyways these days.
Okay, I want to jump in here. As someone who got a photo ID in the past 7 months, I think you guys all know what a pain it is to go down to the DMV.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
necessary. I mean,
It's a pain, but it's necessary. But many people do not have photo IDs. The DMV laws in Iowa and Illinois, they're like 8 to 4. And honestly, what work and 9 to noon on Saturdays? What working person, what student who goes to school all week like you and I do, and then works a Saturday morning job, has time to get down to the DMV? Are you
I
kidding me?
understand what you're
There are
saying,
other
but it's
It's
what we do.
suppression.
I'm gonna throw this out there, but you gotta have the photo ID for many other things, like
I think
driving,
it's stupid.
like
Okay, let's look at Carroll County, where I'm from, or even Whiteside County. That's another county across the river. Someone lives in Fulton. The nearest DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, where you can get a photo ID, is in Chadwick. That's 30 to 40 minutes away. If you are working full time, everyone has the ideal American worker as working 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, and maybe they.
They're screaming.
Okay, sorry. The ideal American worker works 8 to 5, 40 hours a week, and then maybe goes to their kid's soccer game on weekends. Or a student who takes 16 hours of classes, like many of us do, and then works to support herself and keep in school, like I do. You don't have a lot of time to get down to the DMV.
Okay, but I understand
It's
your problems
discriminating
with
against
getting
poor
there,
people.
but we're talking about, you know,
Okay,
providing a
discriminating
photo
against-
ID to vote.
It's discriminating.
You have to take the time to vote anyway.
It's discriminatory.
I think we should allow
Yeah,
people time
but
to get a photo ID. If they
you must admit that you gotta have photo IDs to fly. You gotta photo
Voter
ID
fraud
to.
has occurred in more instances through technical glitches than it has with people pretending to be someone else.
actually,
Yeah, but
Yes.
I'm just
based on
throwing that out
the
there.
practice in question, it's impossible to know how much voter fraud there is, because if we knew about it, it would be there.
I think
How
I
would
think
you know who this person is? if they
libertarian.
did not have.
you guys are libertarian. I agree with that. I acknowledge that.
Well, no.
You guys, it's like, okay, you live in the inner city. It's hard to get anywhere. Let's just say you do everything right. You don't drink. You don't smoke. You saying a single mom who's working 2 jobs to support her kids, who can't afford a car, should not be able to vote simply because she cannot get down to the horrible DMV hours. The voter polls are open longer than the DMV hours.
So we should
And you
have-
would take your kids there. It's really hard to get out. Yes, there's this problem, but it's a small problem. I'd rather have a few fake people vote and let that through than discriminate against thousands, if not millions of people who cannot afford to go down and get a driver's license.
Okay,
So
well.
do you think we need to expand infrastructure so those people can get photo IDs?
I don't think, I don't know,
What is the solution? I mean,
Yeah.
we can make a screed against photo IDs, but, you know, we have to have a solution.
Yeah,
to-
otherwise how do we identify if someone can vote or not?
Right.
Make them bring in their voter registration slip, check them off the list, and then say, okay, that means done. They can't vote until the next election. I think if we didn't enact voter ID laws, we're in an imperfect system. Like so many other things, if there was not, in an ideal world, everyone would have a photo ID. No one would be discriminated against. This relates to my argument on another issue, which because we already agreed on a topic I wouldn't talk about.
Can I interject for a second? It seems like the logical conclusion would be, you said they have to have the voter's registration card.
Yeah.
Why not just put a picture on that?
Because
Does that?
that would be more logical sense. If you want to register to vote, get a picture. A lot of people have cell phones or know someone with a cell phone. That would make more sense. If every voter registration card had a photo ID on it, fine. But don't require a photo ID. Like, just say you have to send one in with your application. It can be paper printed, if you want to do that, or it can be a cell phone snap, fill out online. I registered online. That would be a better solution than requiring a state-issued photo ID, whether it be a gun ID, driver's license, passport, etc., to vote.
Okay. Well, I would just like to say that my name is Malachi Jones, and I'm here to vote. I don't have an ID. Will you please let me in to vote? You know, that's exactly how it could happen. And you know what? If I simply just because I said that, a lot of people would simply think about it and just be like, you know what? If we didn't have photo IDs, I could just say whoever I want. You know. And
what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, this is like.
Yeah, I think it corrects a problem that doesn't exist, and that in-person voter fraud is rare to non-existent, and that when you show up to vote, Illinois is a good example, you have to sign and your signature has to match that which you used when you signed up for voting. It disproportionately affects the poor, minorities, and older people, which are key democratic constituents. So
my grandfather.
I think it's trying to correct a problem that doesn't exist.
Let's use an example of, you said the poor and you said the elderly. My grandfather is in his 80s. He doesn't drive anymore because he has health problems.
Right.
Why would he?
And we know in this last election there were tens of thousands of people who were disqualified from voting because of this. So that's an issue. That's an issue. And if you have to pay money to get the ID to vote, is that a poll tax? It's another something else to consider.
Well,
but yes, my 2 cents. I threw my 2 cents in. And we're running out of time on that topic, so I hate to have the last word on the topic. I'm sorry.
Cool.
But we're running low. So would you each like to have a wrap-up point you'd like to make?
Justin, you were talking?
I believe if it makes people feel more comfortable, it's not that huge of a burden nowadays. We do live in the information age. Internet everywhere, taking one photo to prove your identity, if it makes a huge part of the population feel more comfortable.
Okay.
It's just one of those things that, you know, it's kind of open-ended, and I think that a lot of people have a problem with it, but the one thing that was mentioned like right when we first started this was, you know, judicial legal action being, you know, I mean, people taking whatever to court over this thing. I think that's wrong. I think that, you know, it should be voted on rather than just a few individuals who are mad that they have to take in a photo ID to get their vote in or whatever. That should not go to court.
I'm going to use the grandfather example. If someone in a nursing home, they don't drive, but there's for health reasons, like they have Parkinson's disease, it's very hard for them to get out to a DMV and get a license. If you want to send in a photo with your voter registration card, like you have to send in a signature, fine, but do not require a separate state ID to require to vote.
I haven't worked in a nursing home in jail. They took them there.
What about going to the Oregon system? Everyone in Oregon mails their ballot in. They have very high voter turnout.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
You get your ballot by mail, you mail it back.
Then photo IDs would be.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Then that's no photo ID. Just want to say.
We can all agree on that note?
We can all agree on that note.
Does anyone have one last point they'd like to make?
I think that the voter ID thing is not as big of an issue as most other issues these days. It's a really small issue.
I think it's very important to me in helping minorities vote.
Mm-hmm. Can I make one last point that I'd like to make? Should we go to non-voter shaming? It's something I just found out the other day. When you vote, it's on the public record. Should we post on the internet who voted and who didn't? And so we all can know who is not participating in our democracy and who is.
For what outcome?
To shame people into participating in our democracy. That's my question. That's my final provocative question.
It's really not that shameful nowadays.
You got a minute to answer.
Few people actually vote.
I would love to say yes, but I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I would say.
In the name of liberty, no.
Okay. I would say yes, provided that the votes you cast are not posted.
Right. They wouldn't tell you who.
Did you check in at the Thompson polling place? Right. Yes or no?
It is on the public record if you voted or not.
Yeah, but posting it online.
Yeah.
Justin, last word?
Last thought?
No positive point for it.
Okay.
It's negative shame. not a good thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. You want to wrap up? Go ahead.
Okay.
You got 10 seconds.
This concludes our episode of River Talk of November 5th, 2000.